the Champions League situation because Atletico Madrid absolutely smashed Club Brugge last night, 4-1 in Bruges after the 3-3 draw that they had in the first leg. So Atletico Madrid are through, and they are definitely one of the teams that we could be facing in the next round. It looks like it will be one of Atletico or Galatasaray. Galatasaray were 5-2 up from the first leg, so it's going to take a mammoth comeback from Juventus tonight. It is in Turin, so there is a possibility.
I do believe Juve are, I think, on a 5-match losing streak there or something. So, look, it's unlikely, but you never know. As you say, it is in Turin. I think Galatasaray are nowhere near as good away from home as well, are they, than they are at home. So, if Juve get an early goal, go 1-0 up, you wouldn't rule that out. They've got quality players.
Yeah.
But, obviously, Galatasaray heavy favourites for sure.
Yeah, so at this moment in time, then it looks like it's one of those two clubs, Galatasaray or Atletico. It could very well be Atletico or Juventus, but I wouldn't bet against Galatasaray in this situation. So what that means is the draw happens on Friday, I think 11 a.m. So our pathway is going to be set from the last 16 all the way to the final. And it's going to be an interesting day. We'll be bringing it to you. We'll be live streaming the draw for you on Friday. So who would you prefer, Galatasaray or Atletico?
Definitely Galatasaray. I'm trying to ascertain what would be an easier side of the draw. But the thing is, Atletico is probably an easier side of the draw. So if you get Atletico, you probably got more chance of an easier route for further in terms of who's actually involved. Obviously, we don't really know the sides yet because the draw hasn't been made, so we don't know about Bayern, Arsenal, City, Sporting, Chelsea, Barca, who's on which side. But in terms of the round of 16, we do know that. And so I do think the round of 16 teams probably on Atletico's side of the draw a bit less quality. You got Boda, Leverkusen, Newcastle, as opposed to potentially PSG, Real Madrid, Dortmund. So
see, out of all those teams that you mentioned, so Leverkusen are 0-0 with Olympiacos. I think that's probably a tie that we could potentially do something in. Boda, I think we get battered by Boda now, to be honest, seeing how they're playing. They completely wiped Inter Milan, 5-1 on aggregate. They smashed Man City a couple of weeks ago as well. I think Boda beat us. Atletico, I think they probably beat us. Newcastle, they probably beat us. Dortmund, obviously, we've shown we can beat them this season. And then Real Madrid, PSG.
Galatasaray, the other one.
Yeah, Real Madrid and PSG will obviously beat us, and Galatasaray will be a hard game, but I think we probably can get through it, but I just don't think we will get through it. So there's not many teams that we can beat left in the Champions League.
Yeah, I think, well, look, the current form we're on. I think, to be fair, the Champions League has been fairly good to us, albeit we've had a fairly kind draw at the moment. But we did prove, when we played Dortmund at home, even though they've only lost one game this season, yet we wiped the floor with them pretty comfortably, even though we were injury ravaged at the time. Although they did go down to 10 men early, but even before that, we were fairly dominant. So I do think you got to realise there is a big chasm in between Premier League and other European leagues at the moment.
Yeah. However, when you're looking at the way the draw is set up, as someone mentions in the comments here, we can play Juve or Galatasaray or Atletico in the next round, right? Mm-hmm. When it comes to the quarters, I believe we can play Barca, PSG, Chelsea or Newcastle. I mean, I don't think we'd beat any of those guys.
Barca, PSG, Chelsea, Newcastle when it gets to the quarters, either way, yeah.
So I think the quarters is the max that we can get to this season.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if we were to win in either tie, any of those games. Although we did give PSG a couple of good games, but you wouldn't back yourself to win either.
I think PSG in the group phase to PSG in the knockout phase will be a different kettle of fish.
Well, we saw that last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
When they didn't qualify for top 8, they went on winning the whole thing. Chelsea.
Nah,
I wonder if that would be an interesting game.
Don't even, Sim.
Chelsea are nothing special.
Chelsea are nothing special. What are Spurs?
Yeah,
they're a lot better than us, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, fair. Look, we're not a good team, I know that. I'm not saying we're going to be favourites.
When is the last time we haven't lost to Chelsea?
When was the last time we did lose? It was under Conte, probably.
You know what I mean? There is no chance we're beating Chelsea in a Champions League. No chance.
And then there's Barca, who play handball, pretty much, but with better players.
Yeah.
Newcastle, I mean, we've played them twice. We've played them 3 times this season, haven't won any of them. But they've all been fairly close games, I think.
All those teams beat us. I'm telling you, all those teams beat us. Every single one of them.
Look, we're awful, so of course they're all going to be favourites. But we seem to show a different side to us in Europe.
Yeah, and if we play against an English team, it'll be like an English tie, won't it? So I don't even think it's going to be like a Champions League style game.
Never know when we play.
Because the reason the English teams are so much better than the European teams is because of the physicality. If we play the English teams, they'll have that physicality.
It's true.
So we're not going to be beating an English team.
So you'd rather play Barca rather than Newcastle or Chelsea?
No, I mean, like I said, I don't think it matters. I think we're out in the quarters max. I don't think we beat any of those 4 teams.
Yeah, we're probably not going to.
Out of those 4 teams, I probably want Newcastle, but I don't think Newcastle probably get there. I think probably Chelsea beat Newcastle.
Actually, I reckon Newcastle beat them. I think in the Champions League, 2 legs, I think Newcastle beat them.
I don't think so.
I think they do.
Why?
Because Chelsea are not that great, and Newcastle.
Neither are Newcastle.
I know, but Newcastle will really up their game. I feel.
And Chelsea won't.
No, I don't think they will. Because I haven't seen that under Rossini. I've seen Newcastle do it.
But you haven't seen enough games from Rossini, though. Like,
just saying, since Rossini has come in, there's nothing really. Like, I haven't seen anything special yet. Like Newcastle, on their day, they can really up their game and give anyone a game.
But they haven't really shown that this season too much. Like, they played 2 legs over Man City and they got battered pretty much. Like, Newcastle of the past, the last season, the year before, fine. But this season, they haven't really shown that ability to up their game on the odd occasion.
If they've got Joelinton, Tonali, Bruno all fit, I reckon they beat them. I reckon they beat them.
I think Chelsea will win. But yeah, it'll be a tight tie for sure.
It could be with Newcastle Barca, to be fair.
Yeah, and Barca will wipe the floor with Newcastle.
What was the score early in the season they played there? I think Barca won, didn't they?
Yeah.
Was it 4-1?
I can't remember the score.
They beat him at St James's. Yeah, Rashford scored twice, I think, didn't he?
Oh, that game, yeah. It was a bit of an I think Newcastle started the game well and then Barca just took control, didn't they?
Yeah. What side of the draw? Yeah, it doesn't really matter, does it? But probably want to be on. Probably want to be on the Atletico side. I don't know. Doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter at all. It really does not matter at all. Probably the side that gives us the most glamour tie. At least it gives us something to look forward to.
Would you rather go Istanbul or Madrid?
Istanbul.
Istanbul.
I love that trip to Istanbul, man. I've been to both those. We were there at Champions League final, and Istanbul. I was there last season. So, both great trips, both great cities. But I just side with Istanbul. I love that trip. I want to go again.
Yeah, I know. I missed out on it last time.
Yeah, it was 2-1 to Barca.
Was it just 2-1?
Yeah, but look, that's the Champions League permutations. Obviously, on Friday it will become more clear our pathway to Budapest, but we'll bring it to you as and when that does happen. But